Good. So day 3, magical relationships. Relationships आज की डेट में इतने important है और somehow relationships, especially our close relationships, and that feeling and that thought of taking every relationship, especially the close ones, for granted. That's the big catch which we need to now, somehow sort this out and appreciate. If we cannot appreciate, then at least acknowledge the relationship. Don't take any relationships for granted. The problem with most relationships these days is mainly due to the fact that the other person or one person or both persons take the other person for granted in any relationship. Even if you're talking about our relationship with our source, our parents, your father, your mother, if you're talking about your relationship with your spouse, you're talking about your relationship with your brothers, your siblings, you're talking about your relationship with your children, कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग इतने बिजी हो गए हैं, yeah, whatever is the issue, we've now take all these relationships just for granted, whereas that's one of the major root cause of all relationship issues we are having. So rather than take the other person for granted, I request everybody to start appreciating. If not appreciation, then at least start acknowledging the relationship. And acknowledgement with a just, simple thank you for that relationship is important, especially in today's time where things are moving so fast. So हर एक रिलेशनशिप का एक बेस के लिए उसको फॉर ग्रांटेड लेना बंद करो and just start acknowledging and appreciate whatever relationship it is. And just with the simple this change, things will start to move. Imagine if you were the only person on earth. You would have no desire to do anything. What would be the point in creating a painting if no one could see it? What would be the point in composing music if no one could hear it? What would be the point in inventing anything if there was no one to use it? There would be no reason to move from one place to another, because wherever you went would be the same as where you were. No one would be there. There would be no pleasure or joy in your life. It's your contact and experiences with the other people that give your life joy, meaning, and purpose. Because of that, your relationships affect your life more than anything else. To receive the life of your dreams, it's vital that you understand how your relationships affect your life now and how they're the most powerful channels for gratitude to start magically changing your life. We all are human social beings and everything is connected. We cannot survive just alone on planet, on this school of earth. अगर हमें खाना खाने के लिए खाना चाहिए तो वो कोई बंदा खाना बना रहा है तभी वो हमारे पास आ रहा है. So people are a part of your life or a part of our life here on the school of earth, and all these relationships are the reasons for all the joy, all the good things that we are doing. As an adult, if you're working, you have your own business, or probably you're a housewife or you're a healer, whatever is your profession. You're working so that you can, deep down there is that need, because you want to do it for your family. If you're earning money, you want to, provide a good future to your kids. If you're earning money, you're working to earn money so that you can give all the comforts and luxuries to the people who matter to you. But इस पूरे प्रोसेस में जिसके लिए हम ये सारा कुछ कर रहे हैं, somehow that area is being completely ignored by us. I mean, I remember, I will share one of my personal experiences. When my kids were growing up, they're still growing up, but yeah, during the initial years, I used to call myself the weekend dad. Because by the time I used to come back, my kids had already slept. And it was just a goodbye when I was probably sleeping in my bed and they had to go for school. And I should realize, yeah, I just get to be with the kids on the weekend. It was only COVID that, everybody was home, there was no work was shut, that actually gave me a true self-realization of what a family life is. And I'm sure for everybody else also. सो जो हमारे रिलेशनशिप्स हैं, हमें उनमें इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए, हमें उनको एप्रिशिएट करना चाहिए, उनको एक्नॉलेज करना चाहिए, और उन रिलेशनशिप्स को बिल्ड करने के लिए वी नीड टू एक्चुअली स्पेंड टाइम ऑल्सो, बिकॉज वी नीड देम. इट्स नॉट दैट दे नीड यू, यू नीड देम. Science is now confirming the wisdom of the great sages of the past, with research studies showing that people who practice gratitude have close relationships, are more connected to family and friends, and have other people look upon them favorably. But probably the most astounding statistic that has come out of research studies is that for every one complaint about another person, whether in thought or word, there have to be 10 blessings for the relationship to flourish. Any less than 10 blessings for every one complaint, and the relationship will deteriorate. And if the relationship is a marriage, it will most likely end in a divorce. So ये जो concept यहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं is very plain simple, कि जब भी हम एक relationship की बात कर रहे हैं, और whenever is it that we make a complaint in any relationship, be it in the form of thought, be it in the form of words expressed, in order to compensate one complaint and achieve that balance of normalcy, you need to have 10 blessings or 10 things you need to, immediately think that you're grateful for. So before we say anything or before we make any complaint in our thought or in our words, always remember 10:1. क्योंकि एक कंप्लेंट को वॉश करने के लिए, उसके इफेक्ट को नलिफाई करने के लिए, एक नॉर्मल बैलेंस बनाने के लिए आपको 10 ब्लेसिंग्स, 10 शुक्राने, 10 चीजें व्हाट यू आर ग्रेटफुल फॉर इन दैट पर्सन इमीडिएटली करनी पड़ेंगी. बिकॉज इफ यू डोंट डू दैट, then the balance tilts towards not which is favorable, and then it actually creates an issue in that particular relationship जहां पे हम complain कर रहे हैं. So when we are complaining about any relationship, जब तक हम उसको balance में नहीं लेके आएंगे, that relationship will never improve. It'll take a long time. It is only when one complaint is compensated by you, a conscious effort of compensating that one complaint with 10 shukranas, 10 blessings, 10 things you are grateful about in that person. That is how it's going to work. For example, if I make a complaint about something of any relationship, just a hypothetical, I'm not complaining. So if I make a complaint about, say, a person that he's not done this, how can he do this? He's this, he's that, whatever. I need to now immediately catch myself there and write or think 10 things I am grateful for in that person. तभी वो उसका अफेक्ट नलिफाई होगा. नहीं तो वो कंप्लेंट का, जैसे कहते हैं ना, बैलेंस इन दैट वेइंग स्केल ऑफ कंप्लेंट would become heavier and heavier and heavier. And what will happen if one side gets so heavy that the other side, there is no weight? It'll trip off. And if we're talking about a marriage, it might end up in a divorce. And if it's a relationship with, somebody of a close ones, there'll be a lot of animosity in that relationship because वो balance नहीं maintain किया हुआ. So rather than thinking about what you want to complain, always have that thought, what is it that I am thankful for, in this particular person. And अगर आप सोचने में जाओ, बहुत चीजें मिलती हैं, बहुत चीजें मिलती हैं. So always follow the 1-11 rule. Gratitude makes relationships flourish. As you increase your gratitude for any relationship, you will magically receive an abundance of happiness and good things in that relationship. And gratitude for your relationships doesn't change only your relationships, it also changes you. No matter what your temperament is now, gratitude will give you more patience, understanding, compassion, and kindness to the point where you won't even recognize yourself. The little irritations you once felt and the complaints you had in your relationships will disappear. Because when you're truly grateful for another person, there is nothing you want to change about that person. You won't criticize, complain about, or blame them because you're too busy being grateful for the good things about them. In fact, you won't even be able to see the things you used to complain about. So ये रिलेशनशिप में एक चॉइस है हमारे पास. मुझे क्या देखना है? What is it that I want to see in the other person? Whether I want to see what is the good in the other person, or I make a choice to see what I do not like about the other person. Because at the end of the day, it's you and it's your choice. And your choice of what you choose to see in the other person will decide your way of being. So अगर मैं दूसरे के बारे में कंप्लेंट सोच रहा हूँ, या I am complaining in my mind about the other person's reaction, that is the choice made by the individual that is going to attract a lot of things which will involve that original thought of complaint. But again, as an empowered individual, we also have another choice. And that choice is to look for what is it in that person that I am grateful for. I am grateful that the person served me tea. I am grateful, if the person taught you something. I am grateful if the person served you something. You're grateful to the other person for so many things. They don't have to be something which is, a very expensive gift or that. No, look for basics. I am grateful that the other person let me watch my channel on TV, guys. Uske liye bhi we can be thankful and grateful for the other person. You can be thankful and grateful that the other person lets you enjoy your own space at times. It's a big thing. It's not a small thing. But there are so many things we can be grateful in the other person, but that choice, मेरे को उसकी कंप्लेंट्स के बारे में देखना है कि मेरे को उसमें ऐसा क्या अच्छा है जो मेरे को हेल्प किया, मुझे मुझे उसके बारे में बात करनी है, मुझे उसके बारे में सोचना है. This choice exists whether we take it or not, because if we are taking the complaint, that's a choice we are making. Or whether we are taking that choice of looking at something which is, looking at the good things about the other person or what the other person has done good for you, your choice. So always remember, one complaint needs to balance it with 10 blessings, 10 shukrani. So always be consciously aware of making that choice, of seeing things in which you are able to see what is it that the other person has done, which has helped you and which has benefited you. Because it's your perspective, you are the one who is viewing the situation. So अगर आप उसको कंप्लेंट के लेंस से देख रहे हो, उसका इफेक्ट आपकी आंखों पर ही आना है और कहीं नहीं जाएगा. What you say, what you think affects you the most. It does not affect the other person because it's your thought. It's only when you verbalize it and you cast that spell through your mouth, it might affect the other person. But जब तक वो thought stage पे है और हम बैठ के उसके बारे में सोच रहे हैं, it's not affecting the other person. But the only person it is affecting is you yourself. Because वो thought हमारी है, ये आपकी thought है. So जब वो thought आए, वहां पे वो choice exercise करना is our option, is our prerogative. कि मुझे कौन सी चॉइस एक्सरसाइज करनी है. मुझे उसके बारे में कंप्लेंट गंदा सोचना है, बुरा सोचना है, that the other person has not done this whatever, and open that box of complaints, or I want to change the perception, change my glasses and start seeing the other person as what is it in the other person that he or she has done that has benefited me, and for that I am truly thankful and grateful. We can only be said to be alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. Thornton Wilder, 1897 to 1975, writer and playwright. Words are very powerful. So when you complain about any person, you actually harm your life. It is your life that will suffer. By the law of attraction, whatever you think or say about another person, you bring to you. This is the very reason why the greatest minds and teachers of the world have told us to be grateful. They knew that for you to receive more in your life, for your life to magically increase, you have to be grateful for others just as they are. What if every person close to you said, I love you just the way you are? How would you feel? Today's magical practice is being grateful for the people just as they are. Even if all your relationships are currently good, they will increase with more magnificence through this practice and with everything you find to be grateful for in each person. You will see gratitude perform its breathtaking magic, and your relationships will be stronger, more fulfilling, and more enriching than you ever thought they could be. Now, why is it important to, accept the other person as they are? Because a lot of times, what we want is that we want the other person to change, and we want the other person to do certain things the way we want them to do it. That's the major issue where all relationships issues start. Whenever you have this thought that this person should behave like this. Now remember, all behavior appreciation is coming from your upbringing, belief, and conditioning. And everybody's upcoming, their belief systems, their belief patterns, and their sanskara will be different. There will be some common things, but it can never be the same. So जिस थॉट से आप परसीव कर रहे हो कि अगला को ऐसे करना चाहिए, that's your thought, because that is as per your experience, and that is as per your understanding of life, that is as per your upbringing. The other person will have his own set of beliefs, will have his own set of conditioning patterns, and will have his own set of the rules and regulations with which he has been brought up, he or she has been brought up. And it can be that it is different. That is why we need to appreciate the person as he or she is. For a second, you want that the other person to do certain things the way you want them to do, okay, and you want them to change. Just flip your role for 10 seconds and see. That's exactly the same thing the other person wants. He wants you to change. But when that thought comes to you that the other person wants me to change, you react. Probably on the inside, or you might blurt out something. But जब आप सोच रहे हो कि that the other person should change and the other person should do things the way you want them to be, and you want the others to change, that time it is okay. But जब flip off आता है, and when the other person wants you to change, then the situation is never the same. And then you will have that Pandora's box of lovely, फैंटास्टिक एक्सक्यूजेस. नहीं नहीं, मेरी लाइफ में तो ऐसे है, मैं तो ये है, आई एम वेरी, आई नो दिस, आई नो द वर्ड, एन नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स यू विल हैव टू जस्टिफाई योरसेल्फ. Whereas the point is, if you do not like to change because the other wants you to change, that's the same way they feel when you say that I think you should not behave in this manner and you should change. So accepting the person as he or she is very important for any kind of a healthy relationship. Because if you cannot change and you do not like to change, that's the same for the other person. They're no different. We are all human beings. अगर मैं नहीं चाहूंगा कि किसी के कहने पे मैं अपना चीज चेंज करूं, सो मेरे अंदर भी वो थॉट नहीं आनी चाहिए कि अगला बंदा मेरे हिसाब से चेंज हो. So accept the person as they are and appreciate and acknowledge for their uniqueness. Choose 3 of your closest relationships to be grateful for. You might choose your wife, your son, and your father, or your boyfriend, your business partner, and your sister. You might choose your best friend, your grandmother, and your uncle. You can choose any 3 relationships that are important to you, as long as you have a photograph of each person. The photograph can be just of the person or both of you together. Once you have selected your 3 relationships and photographs, you are ready to set the magic into motion. Sit down and think about the things you are the most grateful for about each person. What are the things you love the most about this person? What are their best qualities? You could be grateful for their patience. You could be grateful for their ability to listen, talents, strength, good judgment, wisdom, laugh, sense of humor, eyes, smile, or kind heart. You could be grateful for the things you enjoy doing with the person, or you can recall a time when the person was there for you, cared for, or supported you. After you spent time thinking about what you're grateful for about the person, put their photograph in front of you and with a pen and notebook or on your computer, choose the 5 things you are the most grateful for. Look at the photograph of the person as you make your list of 5 things. Begin each sentence with the magic words, thank you. Address the person by their name and then write what you're grateful for. Thank you, their name, for what? For example, thank you, John, for always making me laugh. Or thank you, Mom, for supporting me through college. When you finished your list for all 3 people, continue with this magical practice by taking the photographs with you today and putting them in a place where you will see them often. Whenever you look at the photographs today, thank the person by saying the magic words, thank you, and the person's name. Like, for example, thank you, Haley. So, if you're the relationship, whatever relationship you're choosing, carry those photographs after you've done this exercise. And during the day, jitne bar, say once an hour, once in 2 hours, just look at that photograph and just say the magic words, thank you, followed by the person's name. If you're moving around a lot, carry the photographs with you in your bag or pocket and make an effort to look at the photographs 3 times during the day, following the same procedure. Now, you know how to use gratitude's magical power to transform your relationship into magical relationships. Although it is not part of the requirement of this book, you may want to take this amazing practice and use it every day if necessary to make every relationship you have magnificent. You can use it on the same relationship as many times as you want. The more you can be grateful for the good things in your relationship, the faster every relationship in your life will miraculously change. Now, the homework for today, magic practice number 3, magical relationships. Repeat steps 1 to 3 of magic practice number 1. Count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you're grateful. Reread your list, and at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for the blessings as you can. Number 2, choose 3 of your closest relationships and collect a photograph of each person. Now, number 3, with the photo in front of you, write 5 things you're most grateful for about each person in your journal or on your computer. Number 4, begin each sentence with the magic words, thank you. Include their name and what you're specifically grateful for. Number 5, carry the 3 photographs with you today or put them in a place where you will see them often. Look at the photographs on at least 3 occasions. Speak to the person's face in the photograph and thank them by saying the magic words, thank you, and their name. Thank you, Haley. And number 6, before you go to sleep, take your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words, thank you for the best thing that happened during the day.